A shocking robbery attempt in
Los
Anaheim
Angeles
caught on
is in
camera.
collapse.
At least 20 people in broad daylight trying to bust into
Where's
a jewelry
Karen Bass?
store. But this time, the owner stopped the heist in just seconds.
Wow.
Very intense. In that surveillance video, you can see at least 20 people trying to bust through this door right here, many with sledgehammers,
we're gonna talk
until
about what
someone
Karen Bass said
inside
today.
fired back. A violent would-be smash-and-grab robbery stopped in
What's Karen Bass
seconds.
doing?
Every
What's
single
Gavin
one of
Newsom?
them is covered in blood from head to toe.
Watch again as at least 20 people wearing hoodies Thursday evening in Anaheim get out of 5 cars and swarm like hungry bees outside
I mean, this
Elamira
could have been
Jewelry.
really
When I
bad.
watch the window, I see many people. I can't count it.
Inside, store employees run for cover, while outside, thieves with sledgehammers and bags try busting in until this
that.
moment.
This
One
chaos.
gunshot and everyone scrambles.
I take my gun, I shoot one bullet, I scare him,
You know
he
the
moves
Democrat
it,
politicians are going to come after him.
and the problem is done.
The owner doesn't want to show his face on camera for safety reasons, but he and his attorney called the shot self-defense.
And he's willing to protect his business at all costs.
About a month ago, another robbery right across Brookhurst. Thieves driving a vehicle right through Basan Jewelry, stealing millions.
Back and
2
forth.
people arrested nearby, but the other getaway cars still missing. The owner adding new security measures, telling us off camera the crooks stole more than $3 million worth of jewelry.
Everybody should be vigilant and careful. If they notice anything suspicious, they should speak, they should report so that, everybody's safe.
So sad. People, I think, hungry and looking for big stuff.
For 30 years, Mohammed Salam has cooked food next to the targeted jewelry store.
It was like a movie.
Shocking situation now leaving many on alert.
They make me scared.
Look how many people
I
there
have to
are.
protect my business, family.
So far, no description has been given of those suspects, but we counted at least 21 people.
I mean, Karen Bass wants to act like everything is okay going on in L.A. That story just happened. That could have been worse, but we know the Democrat politicians are now going to go after the store owner because of that situation. Now, this just happened over the weekend.
This morning, authorities investigating that car ramming incident in Los Angeles that left at least 30 people injured. The horror unfolding at around 2 a.m. outside a music venue in East Hollywood when police say a man drove his car into a crowd just standing outside the club.
Everyone was looking for their items, their people, their loved ones.
According to the police, the suspect had been kicked out of the club, drove away, and then made a U-turn onto the sidewalk
Look at that.
and plowed into dozens of bystanders as they were leaving the venue.
The vehicle struck a food cart and then came to rest at a light pole. It was an intentional act.
After the crash, bystanders pulling the driver out of the
Look how
car
wild
in
it is
rage, beating him, and an unknown person even shooting the suspect before fleeing the scene on foot. Police releasing this photo of the alleged shooter, who remains at large. Police identifying the ramming suspect as 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, who was taken to the hospital to treat his gunshot wound and then booked on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon.
Now, police are waiting for the toxicology results before formally charging the ramming suspect. If he's charged and convicted, the suspect could face dozens of years in prison.
So I show you those two stories because that is literally within just 2 days apart. And what is going on right now is Karen Bass is trying to paint a pretty picture that everything's okay. Everything was okay before Trump came in, but then now Trump leaves, the National Guard has been pulled. Now she gets these questions, and listen to how she responds. She's basically inciting more people to get up and get mad.
Mr. Holman, the immigration czar for the president, today said there's going to be a full-out, full-court press, flood the zone in sanctuary cities. He was speaking in New York, where apparently there was a robbery where an undocumented immigrant shot an off-duty Border Patrol agent. Clearly, your call has been direct, and this isn't the first time you've asked for this. It's on deaf ears. I just want who is the audience for this? The president has made it clear, and Mr. Holman just today saying that they're going to come back. It is not your only avenue through the court.
Well, no. I mean, I do think the courts are critical, and we had a court victory a week and a half ago with the temporary restraining order, stopping the capturing of people on our street. But I think that it is absolutely critical that we continue to raise our voices and to point out the hypocrisy hypocrisy and contradictions of what is happening here. And one of the biggest reasons for this, Conan, is for Angelenos to understand where we're not completely embedded and immersed with the military like a lot of other cities, for the American public to think about the fact that this is a complete misuse of our troops and our taxpayer dollars. As many of the individuals here will tell you, you have active duty families where they can't afford to pay for childcare. Why don't we take care of our men and women who are in the military and their families using tax dollars that way? Because I think if we didn't do this, if we had no protests or anything like that, then maybe the administration would take away the signal that this is okay, that communities are going to accept it. And what I guarantee you, if they flood the zone in New York or some of these other cities, they're going to be met with a massive backlash.
You hear that? That's what she wants. She wants a backlash. It's wild. Look at that smile.
My questions two, please. One, last week you and I talked, and you made one attempt to reach out to the White House, which...
There's been more than one attempt.
And you told me that you were going to make a second.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
No, but I'm not going to stop requesting.
Well,
and so, go ahead.
Let me ask it, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Respectfully, yeah. So then that takes me to my next step. I couldn't turn on the television this weekend and not see. We know the president watches television, so if your message...
Well, maybe I'll hear something this week, huh?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Was that part of your strategy to get out there more? We haven't seen you out there like we did this weekend.
Well, I hope that will continue, but not just me. I mean, listening to the men and women who serve our country, people who have served, and their response, their concern, people on the street, the businesses that are impacted, as Stuart mentioned. This is a blow to our city in so many different ways, and the economic factor needs to be talked about a lot. The economic factor of wasting taxpayer money, the economic factor of as long as this climate of fear continues, people are not going to go to work. They're not going to patronize businesses. We had a raid in Brentwood the other day where they were rounding up gardeners and landscapers. It's hard for me to believe they're hardened criminals. Nobody is standing here defending hardened criminals. That's not what this is about.
Yes, she is.
This is about everyday working people who are trying to survive and who are not being able to because of the climate of fear that has been placed over our city.
Okay, one thing I want to mention is the economic factor of all this. If the economic factor is playing a factor, we should start questioning how much illegal immigration is actually going on. Even Mayor Karen Bass said just recently that, 40% of our construction workers are illegal immigrants. And I believe that number is actually higher. That's what she said. Think about that. So the whole California economy, if this is how they're doing it, this red alert, red flags, the economic turmoil, if the fourth largest economy is literally built up on slave labor, then we have a bigger issue on our hands. Then maybe superstar President Donald Trump does have to come in and clean things up, because it's unacceptable to see progressive politicians like her stand up there and be like, well, I'm fighting for the illegals, right? Calling them Angelenos, even though we know Angelenos, you have to be a U.S. citizen to be called an Angeleno. But beside the fact, economically, she's also the one that's saying, we're going to give taxpayer money to going through CHRLA, through an organization for illegal immigrants that are too scared to leave their house, right? $200 for each one. So it's not about the money. Clearly, she's willing to waste taxpayer dollars through an organization that has been given money through the federal government, and their contracts are now up this summer from the past Biden administration. And obviously they're not going to get more money during the Trump administration, but they're just squeezing the rest of the federal dollars that they have to just influx it for the illegal immigrants, because that's the type of organization that they are. Beside the fact, this is just so incompetent of her to just stand up there and make it seem like we're all just so stupid. Your city is falling apart right now, and it's sad to see that you don't even really care, and you're hiding, doing these interviews and inciting more violence.